What's up, everybody? Big Hurt, fresh out. You tuned into another edition of Prison Talk. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, representing. You guys ask me a lot of questions, and I don't have all the answers, so I have somebody here to help answer those questions. And he's been on the show before. If you ain't familiar with Bounce Back, but now Bryan, you know what I mean? He's got his own little thing going on YouTube. Make sure you check him out. And he's going to give us some insight on some things you guys have been asking me about. So, Bryan, one of the things that a lot of people ask about is doing time in the SHU, you know, which is, for you guys don't know, is solitary confinement. They call it special housing for people when they put them into like isolation. You don't have any contact. How is that, man? And how did you keep your sanity in there, man?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. So first, let me say thanks for having me back on. Greatly appreciate it. It's always a pleasure with you guys. So the SHU, like Big Herc said, it's a special housing, but it's special housing unit. It's spelled SHU. You know, you got confinement on the compound. That's just like child's play. That's where you go for a couple days, couple weeks, a month, sometimes 2 months. And, you know, in Florida, they have it to where they have whole compounds that are nothing but confinement. And in Florida, they call it controlled management, maximum management. So basically, if you commit some type of offense or you just get convicted of what they say based upon officer's statement, you could possibly be sitting in confinement by yourself for multiple years. And where I was sent to FSP was the entire compound is all single man cells. So basically, when they put you in this cell, you're locked in this room by yourself. When I first got to FSP, they put me in a room that had 2 doors. So they put you in there, they shut the first set. It's actually like a row of bars. They shut the bars, boom. Now remember, they put me in there too, right? They put you in, they uncuffed me. They said, your ass will not be getting out of here, because this one that they put me in had no windows. It's got 2 sets of doors. So they shut the bars, and then there's an outside door that's solid steel. Basically, there's no getting out of there, period. You got no communication. You're not talking to other people. You can talk to your neighbor through like an air vent, but you never see your neighbor. The entire time I was in this part of FSP, it's called maximum management. You do not see anyone. The only person you see is the guard, the officer that brings your meal to your door. And then they'll walk around and do their little checks, you know, to make sure you're not dead, or figured out a way to hang yourself or tie like a rope around your neck. In fact, while I was there, there was a guy that he got put in there for killing. His roommate was Chomo, and he just went down with it. He's like, no, I ain't having that. He killed Buddy. He offed him, done, killed him. So they put him in there, and basically when he got there, he asked the officer, he's like, hey, when do we get to watch TV? And they're like, ain't no TV. All right, when do we get to go outside? He's like, you ain't going outside. What about the telephone? He's like, ain't no telephone. But he's like, man, I can't do no time back here. So what he did was took some, everybody got a pair of boxers. When you unwind the boxer, the waistband, there's a lot of nylon string that comes out. Now you can make it like a long ass fishing rope, or you can make like a little rope to pretty much asphyxiate yourself, cut off the circulation to your brain, you know, air circulation, and basically you just lay there and lack of oxygen, you die. So Buddy did. He made him a little rope, put it around his neck, started turning the pencil on one end of it. He was a big, like, overweight guy. So when he kept turning the pencil, turning it, finally it got tight around his neck. Now the like fat on his neck kind of like folded over. So when the people came by and did their little round, they see dudes laying there, probably who knows what color he turned or how he was looking, you know. But this is just like, I was on a different wing at the time, but I heard, you know, everybody hears everything when you're there. So they said that the medical came running down there. They try to resuscitate guy, but they can't see the rope that's around his neck because he's so fat. It's like, it's in his neck, you know? So they hit him with the defibrillators and all. Try to bring Buddy back. Ain't no bringing him back. It's a wrap. So my point in that is that, you know, sitting in confinement, that shit is extremely detrimental to just your mental stability. It wears on you day after day, minute after minute. You're just locked in a room by yourself. And it's going to do one of 2 things. It's either going to make you or it's going to break you. But it's up to each and every person to exercise their train of thought, because it revolves around with what you're thinking. You know, you could be locked in the room all day, every day. What really matters is what you're thinking about it. Are you thinking the worst about it? Are you just down on yourself? Man, I'm in more shit. I'm in more trouble. I'm in confinement, blah, blah, blah. You're missing whatever it is that you ran into on the compound. You know, people were probably like, well, what's the big deal? You're in prison. Now you're in a cell. You're still in prison. But, you know, when you're on the compound, you at least get to go out to rec. You get to go to the library. You get to go to the chow hall. You go to different places. You get a little bit of movement. You get a little bit of freedom. And now they take every bit of that from you, and you're locked inside of a cell. So, you know, I often tell people as a reference, go lock yourself in the bathroom for 6 hours. Without a cell phone, without anything. Just lock yourself in the bathroom. You want to get a little bit of taste of it. Have no communication with people on the outside of that door. And you'll get kind of a little bit of a taste of it. But I can tell you this, every bathroom I've been in out here on the streets is much more preferable to any cell sitting in prison, a confinement cell. I mean, it's just like, the shit is just undescribable how it's horrible, man.
And how long were you when you were in the SHU?
So I did 2.5 years. Well, I've been to confinement multiple times, but for the escape, I did 30 months, 2.5 years in confinement, 2.5 years straight by myself, no roommate, nothing.
Do you have any books in there?
Yeah, so when I first got there, I was in what they call maximum management, the one with 2 doors. There's only 24 of those cells in Florida. It's right above, so it's a 3-story building. The bottom row is the death chamber. So they still got the electric chair, they got the lethal injection. Right above that was the floor that I slept on. Then there was another floor above me. And on the row that I was on, it holds 6 people. Behind me was 6 people, and then the same thing above us. So there's 24 cells, right? The only thing you're allowed to have is religious material, anything pertaining to some type of religion, Bible, courses that people send into that pertain to religion. You can have some paper to write your people with. You can have some stamps, envelopes, and then cosmetics. Cosmetics, I mean toothbrush, toothpaste, and it's a toothbrush about this big. It's a security toothbrush.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You ain't fixing to stab nobody with this thing. So you get toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, and those reading material that I just mentioned. For me, this was like the biggest turning point in my life. You know, I get in here and I'm thinking, damn, what did I just do? I just escaped from prison. What the hell was I thinking? I know what I was thinking prior, but now I'm really getting time to sit down and think and let go of myself and just be like, why? Why do I keep doing crazy shit like this? And I had a neighbor, dude named Dwight England, that's on death row, that I never seen this guy. We talked through the vent, and he tells me, he's like, bro, shoot your line. So I shot it out from under the door. The line is the fishing line that you make out of the boxers. So I shoot my line out the door. He shoots his. They connect. I pull my line back, and he had that course on here. I mentioned it to you, the course to you before. It's Siddha Yoga program. I slid the course over. I start reading it. I'm like, wow, this is extremely it's enlightening. You know, I'm starting to learn that regardless of whatever situation you're in, doesn't matter how bad the situation it looks to you, it's all about what you think of it. So basically, you're sitting in confinement, you're by yourself, solo dolo, all your rights, all your privileges have been taken away. You can't go call your people on the phone anymore. You can't go watch any type of TV if that's what you're into. You can't go hit the rec field and work out. You can't go to the library if you're into studying, or the law library. None of that. All that's over with. In fact, you know, a lot of people hear that, oh, it's 23-in-1, meaning you're in the cell for 23 hours, you get to go outside an hour a day. Listen, FSP, they'll come right to your door and say, look, here's the rule book. We'll burn this shit in front of your door. We don't give a shit about no rule book. Your ass ain't going outside. Who are you going to complain to? You write grievance if you want to. The grievance is going to go right down there, right down the hallway. They're going to hand it back to the officer that you wrote the grievance on and be like, hey, man, buddy just wrote a grievance on you. Now you got big problems. So ain't nobody writing no grievances back there. So
how long has some of the people been in there? I mean, what's the longest you heard of somebody being in that type of lockdown? 17
years.
Was this person going to ever get out, or?
Buddy had a life sentence. It was a white dude, one of the coldest. I met this guy. I worked in the hallway. I worked in the hallway right toward the end of my sentence, which was kind of crazy because there were so many people that were pissed off about me escaping. And the prison that I was at FSP, for my disciplinary confinement, was right down the road from where I escaped at Lake Butler. So they all knew each other. They all knew about the situation. There's a lot of them that were pissed off. But once I worked my way down, my last few months of being in confinement, they have runarounds on every wing. So they ended up letting me be a runaround. Surprisingly, I'm back working around officers after an officer helped me escape, right?
Were they more pissed off the fact that you were able to manipulate a female guard into helping you, or were they pissed off the fact that they had to look at you and knowing that you had actually tried something nobody else has tried?
You know, I think it was more of the fact that one of them told me in the hallway one day, he was like, I can't believe these women keep messing with you guys. He's like, they don't see us right here. He was a big dude, right? He said, they don't see us right here. He was all pissed off, like, why are they messing with y'all? I'm just like, man, listen, just because you're free, just because you're a man, you know, you're not in prison doesn't mean that I'm not a man or that we're not a man. We're still people. You know, people still, just because we got this uniform on, doesn't mean that people cannot, you know, like us or build a relationship with us. I think they were more pissed off by the fact that what they look at you as an inmate, as a lesser than a person, lesser than a man, was able to pull one of their staff members. They don't like that shit. They don't like that at all. So I was working in the hallway, and you know, you got to go out there and mop. You got to push the trays around. You're just doing a little orderly work in the hallway, right? And the guy that was on confinement for 17 years, he would come out in the hallway sometimes, and this dude had the coldest, murderous look ever. Like, you meet a lot of people in prison. You meet a lot of different personalities, a lot of different people, how they walk, talk, how they act. This dude had the most murderous look ever. And the police were extremely scared of this dude. Like, none of them, they didn't want to escort him. They didn't want to be around him. Dude was just...
He's high power like that, huh?
Dude was a maniac. Straight maniac. I seen him on the rec field one day. Not rec field, but once you're there for a little while, they actually let you go into a rec cage. It's just like a big dog cage is all it's like.
Kennel.
It's like a kennel. It's completely fenced in, the side, the top, everything. But you can, and it's like a quarter-mile long, this prison. And it's like they have rec kennels a quarter-mile long. You can just keep looking and looking and looking down the fences. So I've seen the dude outside in his little kennel when I was in my kennel. And he had a shirt off. Dude had puncture wounds all in his torso, like stab wounds all in him. I mean, dude was bananas, man. In fact, I think he's been in so much trouble. I'm not positive on it, but I think he had been in so much trouble that he just built up a DR list so long that he was never going to get out of FSP. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. You know, I know, you know, a lot of people think this is it's a joke, and they think they have rights down there, man. But I know a lot of crazy stuff takes place when you're in a situation like that. I mean, is there anything that really stands out in your mind that you've seen or heard about while you were there? Because I mean, dude, you don't have no recourse.
Man, listen, there's absolutely no recourse. All of Florida prison, and I imagine it's like this across the entire country, it's a closed system, meaning, you know, I can tell you guys right now what's going on in there, and maybe somebody gets mad, maybe an attorney doesn't like it, maybe somebody high-powered doesn't like it. Go knock on the door of FSP. Tell them, hey, man, I was watching this video. This dude said blah, 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 blah is going on. Let us come check. You're not coming inside this place. That is a completely closed system that is policed by the police. So when something happens, they always cover for each other. So some of the, you know, I've seen a lot of brutality over the years. I've went to 10 different prisons, but FSP was completely different than anywhere else I've been. I mean, the moment I came into FSP in the van that I came in, when we got to the back gate, the officer was talking to me outside of the van, and he says, you ever been to FSP? I'm like, nope. He's like, well, you're entering a whole new world right now. I was like, oh, man. So, and it was completely different. Like, each wing was 3 levels, and, you know, for the most part, if you could come up to your door and, like, look out the window of your door into the, wing, but usually I'll tell you, get your ass off the door. But if you're being quiet, you creep up to the door, you can look out. Anytime you hear a door pop, you would always get up and go look at the window. You're not trying to make any noise because they'll come pop your door. So you go look out. Man, you might hear them pop the door. Next thing you know, they screaming, "Stop resisting, stop resisting." The dude's not resisting. The man is laying on the ground, incapacitated, being beat silly, and you're hearing boots just boo, 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 slamming on him. They're punching him, they're choking him. They're just doing all type of stuff, beating people relentlessly. You know, maybe they came, walked by one day by a dude's cell. "Oh, how come your cell is not clean?" Simple as that. Literally. Like, they tell you all day long, have your bed made, have your cell clean. They come by, maybe you got the window blocked off because maybe you're trying to use the bathroom and you want a little bit of privacy. Maybe so you hang your shirt in the window. A lot of people do that. They come by, "Oh, why you got," all it takes is the one person to come by that's his little pet peeve. You know, they all have pet peeves in there. Well, some of them don't like the shirt. Some of them don't like you to be on the door. Some of them always want your bed made like crisp. Some of them don't want you blocking out the light because, you know, they keep the lights on 24/7. The entire time I was there for 2.5 years, they do not cut the lights off.
What do you think the mentality is of a person that works there, man? Because I got a lot of people hit me up about, "Oh, Big Herc, man, I want to get a job as a CO, and, you know, I just want to use that as a stepping stone and maybe become a police officer or blah, blah, blah." I mean, to me, it seems like over a period of time, it desensitizes people, and that's why when they do become possibly police, and they have no they have no relation to the person. It's like they're detached.
Listen, 100%. Typically, what I notice, like the young people that would come in there, or even just the new people that would come to work there, they would come with good intentions. They come just to do their job, to house and secure people, not to harass people, not to beat on people, not to take things from people or destroy people's property. They come there with good intentions, get a paycheck, maybe use it, like you said, as a stepping stone onto their next part of life. But what happens, and I know for sure it happens in Florida at every single institution that I went to, plus I know people across the entire state. And I'm still in contact with a lot of those guys that I was in prison with. And they tell me it's doing nothing but get worse. What happens is this person comes to work, all good intentions, you know, they just want to get a check. You know, they got some good benefits for working there. Maybe they're going to use it as that stepping stone. But then they get around this crowd that's like, "Look, this is how it's run. This is how we do things. It's either going to be our way or you're going to get your ass up out of here." Literally, I mean, they threaten their own coworkers. "This is how it is. This is how we're riding. We're watching each other's back, period. That's how it's going to be." There was a camp that I was at. It was at Lake Butler. Widely known, and it ain't no secret, that a lot of the people that work there, there's primarily white guys that work there, are part of the Klan. And I actually heard multiple times where they would put their bullshit, whatever it is that they wear, and go to these people's houses that ain't down with the lick, and come out in their front yard and threaten them. That sounds crazy.
Wow, man, still.
But I heard that on multiple occasions.
Wow, B, that's crazy, man. You know, I tell people the same thing, man. I'm like, dude, if you can find somewhere else to go make employment, man, find something else, man, because it's, you know, I know you got to earn a paycheck, take care of your family, but to me, it's just all bad, man. You know, having to deal with that, but you know, I'm glad you made it out with your sanity, man, because I know a lot of people don't come out the same. They get hooked on pills and all type of medication, and you know, that's a whole nother story. But man, that's some serious talk right there. Hey, you guys, man, make sure you guys subscribe, pay attention, check out Bryan's channel, man, and hey, it's real talk right here. Big Herc, fresh out prison talk.